Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from the unseen Utterance. As the year draws to a close and the nights grow longer, we thank you for listening to the whispers that linger in the dark. May this holiday season bring you warmth, curiosity, and just enough mystery to keep the shadows alive. In the coming year, may you continue to walk with us beyond the veil where silence speaks and unseen voices tell their stories. Stay curious. Stay in the dark. See you in the next whisper.
The Strangling Hand in the Mirror. My name is Anon Chai, a 27-year-old IT guy working night shifts in Bangkok. Life used to be straightforward for me. Late wake-ups, black coffee, fixing system glitches for the company until the wee hours, then crashing back at my rented room. I'm not the superstitious type. I don't believe in ghosts or any spiritual nonsense. To me, everything has a scientific explanation: hallucinations from sleep deprivation, weird body reactions from stress. But after those nights in that cheap boarding house, I started doubting myself, doubting whether what I felt was just a dream, or if something was really watching me, trying to claim me. I'm sharing this not to scare anyone, but just to get it out there, because sometimes talking about it makes me feel more real. If you finish reading and feel a chill down your spine, or start wondering if there's something lurking in your own room, maybe you'll understand why I still can't bring myself to turn off the lights when I sleep. It all started when I moved into that place about 3 months ago. I'd just broken up with my ex-girlfriend, a 2-year relationship that fell apart because of my stupid jealousy. Her name was Lan, a Vietnamese expat working in Thailand. I was always suspicious she had someone else, checking her phone, grilling her friends, until she couldn't take it anymore and left. That fear of being abandoned clung to me like an unhealed scar. I figured a change of scenery would help me move on, so I picked this budget boarding house on the outskirts of Bangkok, right next to an abandoned railway track from the 1980s. The building was run down, concrete walls stained with mold patches, ceilings so low that I at 5'9" had to duck while moving around. The room I rented was tiny, barely 100 square feet, a single bed pushed against the wall, a rickety wooden desk with my old computer, and a rusty metal wardrobe. The only window was sealed shut with thick iron bars, overlooking the overgrown tracks littered with weeds and trash. During the day, it was bearable, but at night, wind whistled through the cracks, carrying a mix of sweat and musty dampness that made the air feel thick and oppressive, like being in a steam room. Power outages were frequent, so I got a dim yellow nightlight that barely illuminated the space without tripping over stuff. But that light was weirded, made the room's corners sink into distorted shadows, sometimes making me jump, thinking something was moving there. I chuckled to myself, blaming it on fatigue. New life, I told myself. It'll be fine. When I first moved in, everything seemed normal enough. My night shifts meant I avoided rush hour traffic, and the cheap rent let me save a bit. I met Mayra on a dating app. She was a 25-year-old student from the Philippines, working part-time at a coffee shop near my office. Myra was cute, with short black hair, a warm smile, and she loved sharing funny stories about her hometown. We hit it off quickly, grabbing dinners a few times, and soon she started staying over 1 or 2 nights a week. Those nights made the room feel less claustrophobic, but Mayra would complain. "Your room feels off, Anon. It's like someone's crowding in here, even though it's just us." I'd laugh it off, saying she was imagining things, that it was just Bangkok's humid rainy season. We'd cuddle up and sleep, and for the first few nights, everything was peaceful. Then the weirdness kicked in on a Monday night, about 2 weeks into Mayra staying over regularly. I'd pulled a late shift, getting back around 1 a.m., dead tired after debugging a bunch of server issues. We lay next to each other, chatting idly about weekend plans, then drifted off. My sleep was fitful as usual. Suddenly, I woke up, poor, half-woke, really. The clock read exactly 3:17 a.m. My body was completely paralyzed, like a heavy weight was pressing down on my chest. I couldn't breathe, gasping for air, but my lungs seizing up, throat clogged. My mind was crystal clear. I could see Mayra beside me, breathing steadily, her face serene under the yellow glow, but I couldn't move, couldn't call for help, not even a whimper. It felt like invisible hands were strangling my throat, 5 cold fingers, larger than normal, the thumb digging into my Adam's apple, the others clamping down on the sides. Panic surged. I screamed in my head, "Wake up!" But my body was a lifeless shell. The room's air turned heavy, the musty smell mixing with something metallic, like old dried blood. After what felt like hours but probably just seconds, I jolted upright, gasping. Mayra stirred from the noise, rubbing her eyes. "Anon, what's wrong?" "Nightmare. I shook my head, forcing a smile. Just sleep paralysis, babe. Night shifts messing with my sleep. I'll grab some supplements tomorrow. She looked worried, rubbing my back, but I brushed it off. We went back to sleep, but I lay awake until dawn, wondering if it was work stress. The next morning, shaving in front of the mirror, I froze. There was a faint purple bruise on my neck, shaped exactly like 5 fingers. It didn't hurt, but touching it sent a numb tingle through my skin. Weird. I thought maybe I scratched myself in my sleep, or an allergy to the new pillow. Work swept me away with a big client fix, and I forgot about it. The second night passed without incident, even though Mayra wasn't there. I figured it was a one-off. But on the third night, with Mayra back, it happened again and worse. We'd just finished a comedy movie on Netflix, laughing and turning off the lights. 3:17 a.m. The paralysis hit. The invisible hands squeezed harder this time, fingers embedding into my flesh, making me feel like my neck bones were about to snap. My mind was alert, eyes scanning the room. Through the dim yellow light, I glanced at the old mirror on the opposite wall, the one the landlady called antique from the building's construction days. In the reflection, I saw the bruise on my neck, vivid and purple. Even though in real life I hadn't checked yet, my heart pounded, blood rushing to my head, but I was still frozen. Mayra woke suddenly, shaking my shoulder. "Anon, you're breathing so hard. What's happening?" She flipped on the main light, the fluorescent one that flickered before steadying. As I snapped out of it, sitting up and gulping air, Mayra pointed at my neck, her face pale. "Oh my God, what is that bruise? It looks like someone strangled you." The mark was darker now, spreading slightly to my shoulder, the 5 oversized fingers unmistakable. I touched it. The skin burned. "Don't worry, probably did it to myself in my sleep." But deep down, unease crept in. Why only when Mayra was here? I thought of Lan, my old jealous fits, checking her messages and wondered if that fear was manifesting as hallucinations. That morning, I asked the landlady. Can say she was in her 60s, living downstairs, always in faded floral dresses, her hair in a bun. She'd sit on the porch smoking hand-rolled cigarettes, staring at the abandoned tracks. When I showed her the bruise and asked, "Anga, has anyone had weird experiences in this room, like sleep paralysis or something?" She avoided my eyes, stubbing out her smoke. "Old room, damp, common for sleep issues. Drink warm water before bed, don't overthink." She turned away quickly, like she didn't want to elaborate. I chalked it up to old folks' superstitions and didn't press. Instead, I googled sleep paralysis. Science says it's the brain waking before the body, causing temporary immobility and hallucinations. The bruise may be self-inflicted during panic. I convinced myself, bought vitamin B, and tried sleeping earlier. The 4th night, Mayra had plans, so I slept alone. Total peace, no paralysis, no new bruises, and I overslept for work. Relief washed over me. Maybe it was tension from having someone around. Perhaps I wasn't ready for a new relationship. Still scared of abandonment like before. I called Mayra upbeat. "See, slept fine alone. Probably just stress. Come back tonight." She laughed. "Told you. Your room's too musty, change the sheets." But the 5th night, with her back, the nightmare returned, terrifyingly amplified. We had late street food, spicy pad thai, then relaxed with music at home. Mayra snuggled close, head on my shoulder. "I like being with you, but this room, it gives me chills." I teased, "Scared of ghosts, I'll protect you." We slept. 3:17 a.m., the paralysis crashed in like a wave. The hands strangled, but now I heard whispering. Not vague hallucinations, a hoarse, female voice, murmuring in ancient Thai, words I barely knew from movies. "Kaupen Kong Chan, Kaupen Kong Chan, he's mine, he's mine." The tone was jealous, echoing right by my right ear, as if someone was lying between us. The room turned icy cold, despite Bangkok's sweltering summer. I strained to see the mirror. The bruise was stark, and this time, a blurry silhouette ahead, with long tangled hair flashed across the glass. Mayra bolted awake, sitting up. "Anon," I heard something, whispering, right in my ear. She trembled, clinging to me. As I broke free, gasping, the bruise on my neck spread to my chest, darkening, skin stinging. Mayra cried, "This room is haunted, Anon. I feel it like someone's jealous of us." I calmed her, saying it was collective hallucination from fatigue, wind through cracks making sounds. But inside, doubt gnawed. Where did that ancient Thai come from? And why did it sound like a jilted woman's jealousy? I dove deeper online Reddit threads, Thai forums, stories of similar experiences. paralysis, strangling hands, whispers. Some mentioned Phi Am, ghosts of women who died for love, haunting men with new partners. I scoffed at the folklore, but the bruises. I snapped pics and sent to a doctor friend, a dermatologist nearby. He texted, could be self-harm in sleep or dust allergy. Clean the room. I scrubbed everything, changed bedding, even got a dehumidifier. The sixth night, Mera stayed, but sleep was restless. She tossed, murmuring, I feel eyes on me from the corner. I brightened the nightlight, held her tight. 3:17 a.m., paralysis struck. Hands squeezed fiercely. Whispers echoed. Ya, Ao, Cow Pie, Jack, Chan. Don't take him from me. In the mirror, bruises appeared, not just on me, but on Mera's neck before they manifested in reality. The voice shifted to her ear, threatening. When we snapped out, Mera screamed. Her neck had a faint bruise, matching mine, 5 oversized fingers. Anon, we have to leave. Something's here, it hates me. Sobbing, she packed frantically and fled at midnight, leaving me alone in the dead silence. I stayed for the 7th night, determined to prove nothing was real. I lay awake, watching the clock tick to 3:17. Nothing. No paralysis. No whispers. No new marks. I smirked, thinking it was all imagination. Next morning, I called Mera cheerily. Told you. Fine, alone. Just stress. Come back tonight. Hesitant, she agreed, saying she missed me. That was my biggest mistake. We tried relaxing, beers, soft music, light talk. Myra was anxious, glancing at the mirror. Anon, that mirror. It feels wrong, like something's inside. I joked, too many horror flicks. We slept, hands intertwined. 3:17 a.m. The paralysis hit hardest yet. The hands didn't just strangle, they caressed, possessively, like a twisted lover's touch. The voice boomed in my head. Tho my kukan cow pen kong chan my. You're not worthy. He's mine forever. I saw Mera thrash beside me, eyes wide in terror. Breaking free, I hit the lights. Her neck bruise was vivid, spreading to her chest, skin bruised purple. Mine matched, but worst. In the mirror, a clear figure, a woman with matted long hair covering half her face. Red-rimmed eyes blazing jealousy, mouth twisted in a smile, stood behind Mera, invisible hand reaching out. Mera shrieked, bolting from the room. I'm out. It's real. Anon. It wants you all to itself. I chased, but she hailed a cab and vanished. Back in the room, shaking, I confronted Kanessa Ye. This time, I demanded the truth. She sighed deeply, sitting down. That room, a girl rented it once, named Phi Am. She loved a man deeply, but he left her for jealousy issues. He brought his new girl there, and Phi Am couldn't handle it. She hanged herself from the window bars with a rope. Ever since, anyone bringing a lover gets troubled. It's not about killing, son. It's possession. The bruises are warnings. I moved out the next day, to a bright modern apartment in central Bangkok. Mera broke up with me, too scared to stay with someone haunted. Now I live alone, no dating. The bruises faded, but sometimes at exactly 3:17 a.m., I wake feeling invisible hands stroke my neck. Whispers echoing. He's mine. Is it sleep deprivation, hallucination? Or did Phi Am follow me, waiting for my guard to drop? I don't know. And maybe I don't want to, because if I do, I'm afraid I won't be Anon Chai anymore. I'll be hers. If you've been in Bangkok, rented a rundown room by abandoned tracks, and felt a strangle in your front, don't wait for the 7th night, because some things unseen don't kill you, they just claim you forever.